Welcome back. Now, being a first-time mother can be a daunting task, and many new mothers struggle with getting their newborns into sleeping and feeding routines. Meg Faure, a baby expert and best-selling parenting book author, says routines provide structure and predictability, which can help infants feel more secure. She's the founder of Parent Sense, a popular science-backed baby development app used by thousands of new mothers. She joins us now to discuss this further. Thank you so much for your time, Meg. We do appreciate it. I can only imagine how overwhelming it must be to be a first-time mother. I got a taste of it with my niece, and I can't even begin to imagine what it's like if it's your own baby. But maybe just take us through the solution to all of this, because everything is new. You have this whole new baby in front of you that you have to keep alive and survive in that environment. What are the solutions here?
Yeah, so most parents of new babies do go through a massive amount of anxiety. It's kind of part and parcel of becoming new parents. And there are just so many questions because the baby doesn't come with a manual. When should I be feeding? Why are they crying? How often do they need to sleep? How to ensure that their development meets all of their milestones and kind of have the brightest baby on the block. So there are just so many questions that bring about a lot of anxiety for new parents. And that's why I guess all of the solutions that I have always worked on, my books, my events, the Baby Sense seminars, the Baby Sense products, and now most recently the Parent Sense app, have all looked at kind of solutions to try and decrease that anxiety and increase parents' confidence as they parent their little ones.
I want to speak about how difficult it is, though, to create a routine, especially in South Africa, where we are subjected to constant rolling blackouts. We're told today it will be stage 1, and then in the next hour we're told it's stage 4, and then 2 hours later we're told it's stage 6. How do you create a routine around that? Because it's obviously very difficult and challenging, especially if you're a breastfeeding mother.
Yeah, and I think it is important that we do look at establishing routines, but the reality is that routines have to first of all go according to what the baby needs. So we need to take the baby's needs into consideration. We can't be rigid with it because particularly little babies don't fit into routines easily, and actually it can create more anxiety if you try and really create a very rigid routine for little ones. So the first thing is that we need to watch what goes on for our little ones. The second one is, of course, what you've just spoken about, is that actually life happens, whether it's a rolling blackout, whether it is, kind of having to go and pick up another child that you have from school who's sick, or, whatever it is, you've got another child home from school who's sick, whatever it is, life will happen. And so there needs to be a certain degree of flexibility. And that's what we actually did with the app, is we had a look at really creating a flexible routine rather than something that's super rigid for parents, because it really isn't intuitive, because, as you said, life happens.
Yeah, definitely. Life does happen. And I mean, you plan for something and the next hour something else happens, and it changes the whole routine or the whole schedule that you have set out for. Speak to me a little bit more about this app, though. I'm interested to know what exactly it provides for first-time mothers, what you can get on this app, how it can help you navigate being a first-time mother.
So I always break down the domains of early parenting into 4 areas, because this is what parents think about. The first one is, when is my baby going to sleep through the night? So the app does answer the questions around getting your baby to sleep through the night and improve their sleep according to age-appropriate routines, age-appropriate structures that happen for babies to enhance their sleep. The second main domain of early parenting and of a baby's life is nutrition, obviously. And, particularly in South Africa, it's very close to our hearts that babies need a good start in life, and they need to have good and solid nutrition. And so there would be advice on things like breastfeeding, which is so critically important in the early days, on bottle feeding, because many parents need to transition onto bottle feeding, and then, of course, onto the introduction of solids and what does a healthy meal plan look like. So that's the second aspect of the app. The third aspect of being a parent to a new baby is actually looking after their health. So that's things like following a vaccination schedule. And we actually have 2 vaccination schedules in South Africa. We have the government schedule and the private schedule. And as long as you're on one, it doesn't matter which one you're on, because they kind of follow the same sort of guidelines. But we have that inside of the app, so parents know when to vaccinate their little one. We also have a weight chart, because, of course, weight gain is very important, that babies don't gain too much weight or too little weight. So that's the third aspect, is the health aspect. And then the fourth aspect of early parenting is is actual development and stimulation. And when we look at early childhood development and giving our children the absolute best start in life, we know that they do need to be stimulated. So we have a stimulation activity for every single day. And so the app covers everything from sleep to feeding to health and then development. And then, of course, as you mentioned right at the beginning, it does give you what's called a responsive routine, which means that if you track what's going on for your baby's life, like what time they're fed and when they sleep and when they wake, it actually generates a routine for you so that you can start to guide your baby towards a routine for when will their next sleep happen, when will their next feed happen. And that kind of encompasses what's in the app. What's coming up very excitingly is a first in the world, which we're going to be launching in the next month, which is an AI chatbot who has been trained in responsible parenting data, my parenting advice from my books, as well as a pediatrician's medical triage system. And that's also going to be embedded in the app. So parents will actually be able to ask the app questions at any time. And instead of getting random information that you would maybe get on ChatGPT as an example, you'll actually be able to get really responsible parenting information.
Fantastic. That sounds very helpful, especially for first-time moms. Where can we get this app? Is it user-friendly? Maybe some are saying, I don't even have time to, look after myself. Now I must look after a baby and go onto an app. That might also be somewhat overwhelming, but where can you access this app?
Yeah, so the app is available on both the Apple Store, the App Store, as well as the Google Play Store. So we've made it available across both. I think, the idea with giving people another piece of technology, because of course there's a lot of controversy around how much technology we are consuming anyway. This is not social media. This is content, but it's delivered very specifically for the age and stage that your baby's at. So instead of having to troll through Google or through any other format or to kind of doom scroll through your TikToks, you're actually able to access the information very quickly and very succinctly just for that specific day. So I think as opposed to being overwhelming, it actually saves people time. So they can get it on the app stores. It's actually free of charge, and it's got a lot of courses in it as well, things like antenatal courses and lactation courses and so on. We've even got a early childhood home program for education that's going in the next 2 weeks. And then some of the additional content is actually, obviously, you kind of pay a little bit extra to subscribe to certain amounts of the content.
Okay, thank you so much for your time this evening. We do appreciate it, and thank you for your insights. That was baby expert Meg Faure just speaking to us about an app that can help first-time moms get their babies into some sort of routine.